Welcome to Yoga with Luann. In today's practice, we're going to focus on the 8 limbs of yoga, literally translated from Sanskrit, it's Ashtanga, not related to the brand Ashtanga. So for 5 and 10,000 years, yoga was developed and taught. 2,000 years ago, Pantanjali wrote it down in the Yoga Sutras. And so in that, he describes these 8 stages or phases of yoga. It's a lifelong journey. And so I want to use today's practice to kind of review the stages. And we're going to use our first posture to kind of make a visual of these 8 steps or stages in the practice of yoga. So we're going to go to legs up the wall. You can go over to a wall, but you do not need to. It's super comfortable, I find, to just do it on your mat. So just lie back, hug your knees in, and then extend the soles of your feet to the sky. Have your legs hip width apart. Kind of relax your back into the mat. You can have your hands palms up, your arms away from your body. And just kind of settle into this posture. You should find a point where your legs kind of balance there effortlessly. So see if you can find that. You can put a block or a pillow or a blanket under your sacrum and maybe find a little easier balance there. So our legs are going to represent the sides of a ladder, and the rungs are going to represent the stages of yoga. They kind of are considered to go in an order, but you really work on them all at the same time as well. So if you're on the ground, if that first rung is right here, we're going to use that to represent the first limb of yoga, and that is the yamas. So briefly, the yamas are kind of the 5 rules for right living, kind of like non-stealing, truthfulness, non-violence, and each one is pretty involved if you study it. So then the second rung is the niyamas, and those are kind of the observances that you practice, like purity. Has to do with purity of the mind as well as cleanliness of the body and stuff like that. So there's 5 there as well. And then the next one is the asanas, and that's what we do in yoga. The yoga postures. There's 84 original yoga postures. Then we have pranayama, and that's kind of the breath work and the breathing technique and the acknowledgement of the importance of energy in the body. Then we have the pratyahara, and these kind of all lead to the 7th one and the 8th one. So pratyahara is being able to withdraw from our senses, from our emotions, from our memories, so that we can really focus. Dhyana has to do with the ability to focus, and then dhyana is meditation. So if we practice all these things, we're going to be able to develop a strong meditation. And then the 8th, the final rung, is going to be at the tops of your soles, kind of reaching heaven really at that point, because that's samadhi, and that is where you find your true self, where you commune with universal consciousness or God. We're all going to get there at death, but it's kind of a journey that we try to get there even in this lifetime. Take one more breath here. Maybe give your ankles a roll. Hug your knees into your chest. Let's put our soles of our feet down and gently roll over onto our right or whatever side and press yourself up to seated position. So something you'll notice is every yoga practice considers those limbs. So we're constantly connecting to our breath. We're constantly focusing our mind. We're creating space in our body and our mind so we can do that last part of yoga, which is Shavasana. So all of those practices lead us up to be able to find space in our mind and be in Shavasana, where we can try to meet our true self or find a sense of calmness or whatever it is that we're looking for. So right now we're going to go ahead and I'm going to repeat 8 sometimes today as well to recognize the 8 limbs or 8 steps of yoga. So if you would put your left hand out, and then on an inhale, we're going to count to 8 and arch it up and over. So inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4 is reaching straight up, 5, 6. You can put your other hand down, 7, 8, really lean into it. Now let's exhale for another long 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, leaning over, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 8, exhaling, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Let's inhale to lengthen, and then exhale, twist it around to your left. Really twisting here. Inhale it back to center. And then exhale. Twist it around to the other side. And inhale back to center. Good, let's crawl it forward to tabletop. Let's build a nice tabletop here. Shoulders over wrists, fingers spread wide, tops of your feet pressing into the mat, core engaged. Navel actually pulling up toward your spine. Crown is reaching toward the front, tailbone reaching back. Take a breath in tabletop. Okay, now we're going to hover knees. So we're going to press into our tops of our feet and lift our knees about an inch off the mat. So we'll grip into your finger pads, please. We'll count to 8 again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep hovering. 6. Engage your core. 7, 8. Go ahead and gently set your knees down. Draw your knees out wider and sit back. Hips to heels in a child's posture. You can stack your fists or your hands, or go ahead and put your forehead right onto the mat. And just kind of ground yourself here. Remember, this is your practice. One of the yamas is nonviolence, and so there's where we always ask you not to harm yourself in your yoga practice. If it causes pain, then don't do it, or do it in an alternate way that you are able to. Go ahead and reach your hands forward and crawl over to the left. Lower your shoulder down to a crescent stretch here. Back to center. Walk your hands to the other side. Hips to heels here. Lower your shoulder to the mat. Come back to center. So from child's posture, we're going to thread the needle. So maybe take your left hand, palm up under your chest, and then reach it through. And set your temple down on the earth, stretching your shoulder here, stretching your back. Okay, bring that hand back to center, and let's go with the other side. Palm up, reaching under your body. Thread the needle. Come back to center. Remember, if there's ever poses that you don't feel comfortable, just always can come back to this posture. That's another kind of principle of yoga, that you don't want to feel any negative attachment to any of these poses. You don't want to bring up any negativity. Whatever your body is doing today is Perfect. Go ahead and reach forward and press up into tabletop. Bring your knees back together. Whew. Okay, we're going to lower down. So how about a chaturanga? So tip your tailbone up. Your chin and your heart are going to lower toward the earth on your exhale, and your elbows stay in. So go ahead and exhale, lower down. And we're going to press up in cobra, but you're really not pressing, sorry, you're just lifting your heart. Your tops of your feet are pressing into the mat. So let's hold cobra for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Exhale down. Now bring your legs together, squeeze them together. Press the tops of your feet into the mat, and now you're going to come up into cobra. But then if you're able, you can start extending your arms, not till they're perfectly straight. Keep a little bend. Your knees may come off, your legs may come off. You may be on your just your hands. Remember to squeeze the mat with your finger pads and the tops of your feet. So here we are in up dog for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Always can come down whenever you are ready. Remember that. Exhale, lower down. Inhale back up into tabletop. Find your tabletop here. Shoulders over, wrists, knees under hips. Engage your core. So we're going to flow here through some of those we just did. So go ahead and keep your elbows tucked in, tailbone tipped. Exhale, lower down. Inhale to cobra. Exhale, press back to child's pose. Inhale back to tabletop. Chaturanga, lower down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, child's pose. One more. Inhale to tabletop. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale back to tabletop. Beautiful. So now we're going to go ahead and curl our toes under and come up into plank posture. Always can come with your knees on the mat here, but your tailbone is tucked. Your heels are pressing back. Your core is engaged. Your tailbone's reaching forward. For 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now we're going to come into side plank. You can set your knee down, or you can just roll over onto the outside edge of your left foot. Come into half side plank. Option to extend your arm. Option to raise your top leg. Stretch your, flex your foot. Wee. Option to do whatever your body does. Come back into plank. Now we'll go to the other side. So roll onto your right, outside edge of your right foot. Option to extend your arm. Option to lift that top leg. Beautiful. And let's come back gently to plank posture. Gently set your knees down. Again, no violence to our body. Spread your feet wide and come down into child's pose. Take a breath here. Give your wrists a roll. You're going to take care of your wrists. That's why we are always kind of gripping with our finger pads here. Trying to protect our wrists. Okay, press up into tabletop. Okay, now you're going to bring your right foot in between your hands. Curl your left toes under and inhale in equestrian. Let's kind of slide back and forth here, opening up our hips. Now we're going to flow to Ardha Hanuasana here. So inhale here. Exhale, walk it back. Half split. Inhale, walk it forward. Equestrian. Exhale, walk it back. Inhale, walk it forward. Exhale, walk it back. Inhale. Let's put the top of our foot into our mat, walk it back here a little bit so your knee is over your ankle and press yourself up. On your next inhale, you can come into goal pose or crescent, or arms extended, crescent lunge. So first we're gonna open this posture. So our right leg is forward. We're gonna put our right arm forward and our left arm back. Give a twist here. And then exhale to prayer position. Now put your left arm forward and your right arm back. T twist. We're going to revolve this. We're going to lower our back hand and flip our front palm. Option to look straight ahead or look up at your hand. Inhale here, exhale, bring it back, and then to prayer position. Ooh, beautiful. Go ahead and bring that knee back, and let's bring our left foot forward. Curl your left toes under. And inhale in equestrian. Your heart and chin are lifting. Take a breath here to kind of warm up your hips. And we'll inhale in equestrian, and let's walk it back to half split. Inhale equestrian. Exhale Ardha Hanumasana. Inhale split. Equestrian. Exhale, walk it back. Half splits. Inhale. Good. Let's put the top of our foot down. Bring it back a little bit so your knee is above your ankle. Rise up out of this posture. And then your next inhale, come into goal post or full extension. Beautiful. Our left leg is forward. Let's put our left arm forward and kind of open this posture here, really reaching. Crown is lifting. Your foot's pressing into the mat, the top of your foot, gripping with your front foot. Inhale, and then exhale, bring it back to prayer position. Now let's put our right arm forward and our left arm back. Really reaching here again, nice T twist. Let's revolve that. Flip your front palm. Inhale, and on your exhale, rotate your right arm up, your left arm back. And on your next exhale, let's bring our hands to the mat. Bring your left knee back. And then from tabletop, curl your toes under. Come up into downward dog, lifting your hips. Bend your right knee. Drive your left heel into the mat. Bend your left knee. Drive your right heel into the mat. Grip the mat with your finger pads. Wake up your dog here. You can add a little twist to your bending knees. Okay, and then let's extend our right leg up and back, three-legged dog. Bend that knee and open your hip. Bring that foot down. Exhale your left leg up and back. Really drive that right heel in. Three-legged dog. Bend your knee. Open that hip. Point your knee toward the sky. Look under your left armpit. Inhale to extend. Exhale, lower down. And walk your hands back toward your feet to forward fold. Let's take a breath here. See about putting the weight into your balls of your feet, into your heels, and then in the balls of your feet. Grab opposite elbows and really let gravity pull your arms and legs toward the earth. Your arms and hands. Getting a nice stretch in your low back. Maybe kind of gently swing around to the right and to the left. Keep a soft bend in your knees. Come back to center. Inhale, halfway lift. Really pressing here. Maybe even put your hands on your thighs for your next inhale. And then inhale, make a nice long back. You're looking down at your mat. Crown is reaching forward. Then exhale, lower down. And lift off knees. Let's reverse swan dive and rise to extended mountain. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale. Good job. We are expanding on our expansion. We're inhaling on contractions. We're exhaling. We're always sequencing our postures to our breath, pranayama. During our Surya Namaskaras, let's really focus that this is kind of bringing honor to the creator of all, and use it as a moving meditation. So once you have the sequence memorized, you are able to kind of use it as a meditation there, kind of free your mind and just move with that present moment motion, staying focused on that only. If you lose sequence or you do something wrong, remember pratyahara, no attachment to that. There's no need to be negative about anything that kind of doesn't go exactly perfect, because we live in nothing's perfect. All right, at least in this space and world. So let's go ahead and inhale in mountain. Exhale, hands to heart, Anjali Mudra. Inhale, reaching out, up and back. Exhale, reaching out, forward and down. Maybe tuck your chin. Step your right leg back and inhale in equestrian. Hold your breath till you get yourself situated, and then exhale, chaturanga. Heart and chin toward the earth. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, curl your toes under, up to downward dog. We're still on the right side, so take your right leg forward. Inhale in equestrian. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reaching out, up and back. Press your hips forward. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, mountain. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, reaching out, up and back. Exhale, reaching out and forward and down. Take your left leg back. Inhale in equestrian. Bring that right knee back, and you're going to exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left leg's going to step forward. Inhale, equestrian. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reaching out, up and back. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale. Really try to stay focused. One more round. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, reaching up and back. Exhale, reaching out, forward and down. Right leg step in. Inhale, equestrian. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right leg steps forward. Inhale, equestrian. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reaching out, up and back. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, mountain. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, reaching up and back. Exhale, forward fold. Left leg steps back. Inhale, equestrian. Exhale, and chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left leg now steps forward. Inhale, cobra, equestrian. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reaching out, up and back. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale. A lot of times after a yoga class, people will say how good they feel, and it's because you are practicing all of yoga. So if you ever do yoga and you think it's good exercise, but then you get all those other benefits, it's because you're practicing the 8 limbs of yoga. For our standing open postures, we're going to do 8. And each posture I've assigned to a different rung on our ladder that we built earlier. Those 8 limbs or 8 stages of yoga. So at the top of your mat, step your left foot back into a warrior 1 posture. So not a huge step. Feet are hip width apart. Your back toes are at about a 60-degree angle or more toward the front. And then your toes are pointing straight ahead and your right foot. Bend your knee so it's over your ankle. Hips and shoulders are square to the front. Shoulders are relaxed down, crown is lifting. Inhale into goal pose or extend your arms, but try to keep your shoulders relaxed. You can look up in between your hands or straight ahead. Warrior 1, strong, proud warrior. So this represents our yamas, those 5 rules. You can imagine this stance representing kind of this right path, this right way of living. You're following these rules and guidelines, not because you are afraid of being in trouble, but because you want to do your best for yourself, your planet, your fellow beings on this earth. One inhale here and then exhale. Grasp your hands behind your back and then reach your fists, your clasped hands down your kind of past your tailbone toward the earth. That opens your heart, opens your shoulders. So for niyamas, or those kind of right principles or observances, you have an open heart here, our base is still the same. Then on your exhale, bow forward. And your head bows toward the earth. Your shoulder is inside of your knee. Option to lift your hands off your back. You can imagine humble warrior here. My favorite, well, it's not a favorite, but I really like surrender. And this really, the last of the 5 niyamas is surrender. Inhale here, coming up. Surrender to a higher power. Surrender to what is, not fight against life. Inhale here, exhale, let's reach toward the earth and step up to forward fold. Inhale, exhale, inhale. How about reverse swan dive? To extended mountain, exhale, hands to heart. Inhale. Okay, we're going to balance those 2 out on the other side right away. So go ahead from the front of your mat, step your right foot back into warrior 1 again. Square to the front, your hips and your shoulders, knees over your ankle. Your next inhale, you can come into goal post or extend. Here we are at the yamas again. So there's 5 guidelines. So it's things like truthfulness, nonviolence. We practice these during our yoga practice, but what we practice on our yoga mat, we want to take out into the world. Also non-excessiveness, non-greediness. Maybe during this coronavirus of 2020 pandemic, we're realizing we don't need as much stuff. Maybe we're even getting rid of stuff, making things more simple, doing with what we have. Inhale here, exhale, clasp your hands, reaching your clasped hands down your back, opening your heart. You can just stay here for this posture. Or option to exhale and bow forward into humble warrior. So the niyamas, those guidelines. So it's things like purity of the mind. You can come up whenever you want. Cleanliness of the body. These guidelines help us have a clear mind, clear space, so that we can meditate without feeling jealous or guilty or full of shame. One of the observances is self-study, so we're always learning and growing. Let's go ahead and reach forward so we can step forward fold on the exhale. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive, rise to extended mountain. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale. Beautiful. For our third posture, we're going to go ahead and take a nice big step straight back. So our feet would still be what would count as hips width apart here. We're not on a balance beam. Our knee is over our front. Our front knee is over our ankle. Hips and shoulders are square to the front again. Heels pressing back. Shoulders are relaxed. Option 2, inhale into goal pose or high lunge with your arms extended. Option to look up or look straight ahead. So high lunge I'm using to represent the asanas, the postures. There's 84 original postures in yoga. They're designed to help you have a long, healthy physical life so you can live long enough to reach samadhi or the enlightenment. Also to create space in your body and mind so that you can participate in shavasana and meditation. Let's exhale our hands to our heart. Now we're going to T-twist this here. So our left leg is forward. Oh, I did this backwards. That twists. No harm, no foul, right? So whatever leg is forward, extend that opposite arm forward. And then your left hand back. I probably told you to step your right arm. Okay. So come into this twist. So if your right leg is forward, your left arm is forward. Have a nice twist here, really twisting, really reaching, crown is lifting. And then I'm using this posture to represent pranayama or breathing. And see, it's kind of hard to take a deep breath here, and we're going to even make it a little more tricky. Flip that front palm, and then raise that hand to the sky, tip the other arm back. We're going to revolve this. So you can really use your breath to find peace, even in a stressful posture. If you can't take deep breaths, you can take short, shallow breaths. If that's all that fits, that's okay. Then exhale your hands back. Windmill your hands down. Step up to forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Reverse swan dive. To extended mountain. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale. Beautiful. So this time you're going to step your right leg back, unless I gave you opposite directions last time. So balance it out for yourself. Heels pressing back, knee is over your ankle, square to the front, shoulders are relaxed. Inhale into goal pose or extend your hands. Lunge, high lunge. Need a strong core here. Shoulders are relaxed. So the asana is the third step, the third rung. So we have guidelines and observances, and then we have physical exercise to create a flexible body. The flexible body, exhale your hands to your heart, combined with your breathing. Pranayama, step 4, let's raise our right hand forward and our left hand back. We always incorporate breath work into the sequence of the posture, inhaling and exhaling. We also may have some breathing techniques during class, like Nadi breathing or lion's breath. You've probably heard those, or practice those, sorry. And we also think about how that brings energy into our body. And our body has, in yoga, they say 72,000 different nadis or channels of energy. The chakras are kind of the main kind of wheels of energy in our body. But there's a lot of channels that we're trying to keep those free from blockages. So let's go ahead and revolve. Keep our energy channels flowing. That's how we keep well. Yoga is about wellness, the absence of disease. All right, reach for the mat, step forward to forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise to extended mountain. Exhale, hands to heart, samastiti. Inhale. All right, we're going to step our left foot back and come into a warrior two posture. So kind of we're coming into another warrior one base. So not such a big step. But this time, so your hips and shoulders are square to the front. But we are going to use this posture to stand for pratyahara. So this is going to be pyramid posture. So have your front leg straight and your back leg straight. And you're facing the front of the mat. Have your hands on your hip. Inhale to get long here. Engage your core. And on your exhale, just fold at your hips with a flat back. Inhale here, and then exhale. Now you can kind of bow forward, reach for your legs or your mat. Try to keep that front leg straight. Try not to let your hips kind of open here. Kind of keep them square to the front. Let gravity pull your head toward the mat. Pyramid, the strongest shape in the universe. We're going to use this to represent pratyahara, or focus. Pratyahara is withdrawing from the senses. So imagine being deep inside, being able to focus without paying attention to what you may hear or see or feel, and that includes emotions. Okay, get a nice flat back, and on your next inhale, soften your knee a little bit, but inhale to rise. Beautiful. Now we're going to take a wider step and come into a warrior two base. So your toes are a little bit out, more like at a 45-degree angle. Front toes are still forward. Bend that front knee over your ankle. Always adjust your legs so that feels like you're working, but not too much and not going over. So the weight is in the ball and big toe of your front foot and the outside edge of that back foot. Your legs are internally pulling or rotating toward the center. Your pelvic floor is engaged. Your core is engaged. Your shoulders are relaxed. You're reaching forward with your right arm, back behind you with your left arm. And then your gaze. So we're going to focus on dharana here, which is focus. So in yoga, we oftentimes ask you to find a drishti, which is where you're going to look. So in warrior two posture, you gaze or you find a point, straight ahead of your middle finger, and that's where you focus your attention. That is your drishti for this posture. Just take a nice breath here. And then exhale your hands to center. Now just turn your legs, your right toes in, turn your left toes out. Now you're facing the other side of your mat or the back, that's okay. Bend that front knee, so you have warrior two on this side. And let's continue that drishti first. So now you're gonna reach your left arm forward and your right hand back and find the drishti or your gaze out from that middle finger. So dharana is being able to focus. So it might be on a point, it might be on an object. During meditation, you might focus on a flame or in a place. You can close your eyes and focus on a place or a person even. You may focus on a mantra, which is usually in Sanskrit. Some words that have meaning. One more nice inhale here. And on your exhale, let's bring that right leg up a little bit so we can come into more of that warrior one stance. Toes are pointed more toward the front. Turning your body now so that you're facing the back of your mat. And then your hips and shoulders are square to the back of your mat. Inhale to lengthen. Then exhale, keep a flat back and just hinge at your hips part way. And then inhale here. And then exhale, allow yourself to lower down. Drawing in pratyahara, withdrawal of the senses, coming inside, ignoring outside sounds or pressures or worries, not bringing in memories, experiences. Deep under all that is where we meet ourselves during meditation. Let's make a flat back, a soft knee, and on an inhale, rise. Beautiful. Now turn yourself back to the side and get a nice wide stance. Toes are pointing out. I'm sorry. Your stance is a little bit wider than hips. And for stage 7, we're going to go into squat posture to represent dhyana or meditation. So go ahead and take a seat here. And you can come as low as you can where your heels stay down on the ground. You can bring a block or a stool over and sit. Or you can go lower and then your heels may come up, and that's okay too, but then it's more of a balanced posture. But try to keep your crown lifting, try to keep a straight spine. Option to put your hands in a prayer position, and then use that tension to kind of separate your legs a little bit, but also to raise your crown and get that straight back. Option to soften your gaze here, or even close your eyes. So 1 through 6, yamas, niyamas, asanas, pranayama, pratyahara, right? So rules, guidelines, yoga exercises, breathing, being able to focus, being able to withdraw from our senses. All of those bring us here to meditation. So when you're trying to focus, if a thought comes, most of yoga is really about controlling our mind, because they describe it as a monkey or a runaway horse, which we know what that analogy means and what that feels like. So trying to be in control of our mind and our emotions so that we can choose our path thoughtfully, make our decisions with intention, with purpose. Because even if we don't get to enlightenment, even if our meditation practice isn't that good, it is something we can work on and build on, and we have a lifetime to do that. And all of these things allow us to have a joyful, healthy, energetic life. So you can't really misstep. Let's put our hands toward the mat and rise. Inhale, lift your hips. Then maybe walk your feet a little closer so you can slowly roll up to mountain. Give your shoulders a roll. Okay. Now this time we'll step a little wider. Your toes out, your heels are in. We're going to take a seat in goddess. I thought it would be an appropriate posture to represent samadhi. So go ahead and take a seat, lower down. Kind of adjust your heels. Your knees should not be kind of caving in. So go as low as you can and keep a good posture with your knees. Your core is engaged, your pelvic floor is engaged, your shoulders are relaxed. Your hands can be palms down or palms up. You can also bring them with your elbows in and your palms shining away from you. Option to bring them over your head, shoulders relaxed though. Kind of like this one. Maybe bring a soft gaze here. Imagine in a meditation, really meeting your true self. Meeting with universal consciousness, meeting with God. Inhale and rise. And slowly kind of heel toe our feet together. Press our palms together. Press our thumbs into our heart. Inhale. And exhale. One more. Beautiful yogis. So for balance posture today, we're going to do tree, because oftentimes we see the 8 limbs of yoga kind of written, because it's limbs, written on branches. The lower rungs are toward the bottom, and samadhi, that top rung, is at the top of the tree. So let's visualize that. Go ahead and bend your left knee a little bit. Put your weight into the foot. Feel the earth under your foot. And then bring your right knee in and hug it. And then bring it out to the side. This could be your balance posture today. Then pick, do you want to put it on the inside of the thigh, the shin, toes on the ground? Another option is to bring the foot into the hip crease. And then wherever you are, try to bring your knee out to the side and down. And from there, you can come into a prayer position or make your limbs however you want them. You can be still, you can be moving. Find a drishti. When you fall out, just come back in. It's nothing. Do not have one negative feeling about your yoga practice. Gently come out, and then we'll do the other side. So put your weight into your right foot. Squeeze your left knee in. Come out to the side. Choose for this side. It might be different than the other side. So pick where you want to put your foot. Remember, your knee should be going out to the side. Shoulders are relaxed. Find your drishti or your gaze. Remember to breathe. Breathing deeply calms you down. Limbs are around. Let's go ahead and bring that foot down. Beautiful. Alrighty. For our inversion today, you're just going to come down into just on your shins, and then sit back on your heels. And we're going to get our heart above our head in rabbit. So inhale to lengthen. Then on an exhale, you're going to tuck your chin, and you're going to set the top of your head down in front of your knees, or as close as you can get. And you're going to try to get your forehead as close as your knees. So go ahead and inhale. Then exhale, tuck your head, bow forward. Try to get in as close as you can. Then you're going to grab your heels. The inside of your your fingers are on the inside, and then your thumbs are on the outside. And then option 2, on your next inhale, raise your hips, straightening your arms. I'm going to take tiny breaths there. We'll go ahead. Inhale back up. Seated. For a back bend today, you're going to come into tabletop. You're going to extend your right leg back. You're going to extend your left arm forward. Your shoulder is over your wrist, right? Your knees, other knees under your hip. And then on inhale, you're going to lift your hand and foot. Really extend. Maybe let's point our toes and really reach with our fingers. Find a drishti up ahead of you on the floor. Then on your next inhale, see if you can lift your hands. Really press the earth away so you're lifting your whole body up away, but also lifting your hand, your arm, and your leg. Really pressing away and pressing up. Getting a little bit of a back bend here. How about one more breath here? And then exhale, gently bring that back. Now extend your right arm and your left leg. Really pushing into the top of that right foot. All right, pressing into the finger pads of your left hand. And then inhale to raise those. And then let's really point and reach. And then on your next inhale, raise that up. Pressing the earth away, gripping the mat. One more breath here. Exhale gently, lower down. Exhale fully into a child's pose. Maybe rock your hips one side to the other side. And then go ahead and press forward and crawl into a seated staff position. Posture. Flex your toes toward the sky. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, crawl yourself down, your crown toward your toes. Now you can pull here, grab onto your legs or your ankles or your feet. Then press up. Let's take our right leg and bring it into where our sole of our foot is on the inside of our thigh. Inhale to lengthen here. Right, toes are flexed. And then crawl forward on your exhale, bowing forward. And then inhale here. And then kind of crescent yourself over. Drop your shoulder, right shoulder down toward your knee. Extend your left arm up. And inhale to rise. Switch. So put your sole inside your foot and then inhale to lengthen. Exhale, crawl forward. Press back up on your inhale. Then your exhale, kind of arch, kind of crescent over so that your shoulders are stacked. You can put your arm inside your leg here. Option to raise your left hand to the sky. And inhale. Beautiful. Let's put the soles of our feet on the mat. Let's kind of sit back on the back side of our tailbone, not on the top or toward the front of the back. Balance there. Let's hug our knees into our chest, see if we can balance here. And then see about opening up a little bit, maybe getting your shins parallel with your mat. You can hang on to your knees here, or you can extend your arms. Option to tap one foot in the other, or option to lengthen one foot in the other. Okay, beautiful. Now we're going to roll back on our back. And exhale, hug our knees in. Inhale, soles to sky, straighten your legs. Exhale, lower toward the earth, and then stop before your feet land. Inhale here, and then exhale, hug the knees into your chest. Inhale, soles to sky. Exhale, lower down slowly. Inhale there. Exhale, hug your knees in. One more, follow your breath. Pranayama, inhale, exhale, lower down. Inhale here, exhale, hug your knees in. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and put the soles of our feet on our mat. All right, let's hug our right leg in and stretch our left leg out. And really pull with your right knee towards your, kind of maybe around the outside of your hips toward that right armpit more. Have both feet flexed, really pressing through your left heel, stretching. Let's set your left heel down. Put your right foot, the sole of your foot, on your thigh. And then let's bring that over to the left. Right arm could be extended. You can look left or look right. Or look straight ahead, really reaching that knee toward the earth. So come back to center. Now let's switch that. Let's hug our left knee kind of around our ribs toward our armpit and extend our right foot. Really reaching through the heel. Both feet are flexed, really pulling and pushing. Set your right heel down. Put your left foot on top of your thigh and then bring that over toward the right. Drop that to the right. Extend your left arm. Get a twist here. Inhale it back to center. Bring both soles of your feet to the mat again. Always have to do a bridge. Have your arms along your sides. Press into the mat with your palms. And on an inhale, press up. Raise your hips. Option to follow your breath here, lowering on the exhale. Or option to stay. Option to walk your shoulders closer together and clasp your hands. Try to get your palms touching, raising your hips. Option to walk your shoulders closer to your ankles and try to grab your ankles. Option to go into any wheel or whatever that you have going for you. Try to keep your knees close together here. And let's all exhale down. Just do a few windshield wipers, dropping your knees right and left. Catching your breath. And then go ahead and extend your legs. Extend your arms. Give yourself a full body stretch here. And then find yourself a Shavasana posture for today. Typical is your legs mat width apart, feet flopped open, arms at a 45, palms up. Always can put your hands on your heart or your belly. Always can bend your knees if your low back is too stretched to lay flat on the floor. You can let your knees fall in, let your knees fall open. You want to find a place where you can be still. So choose your position for today. You want to have a nice, still, calm body and a nice, still, calm mind. So relax into this posture. Don't let your mind start jumping ahead. Remember, yoga is about being able to control our mind. We're going to say it right now that we're just going to stay here for 3 minutes. If a thought comes, that's okay. No negative feelings attached there, but just let it go. Don't let that thought get you all ramped up going in a different direction. You could choose to focus on a place. You could choose a mantra. A common one is so on the inhale, hum on the exhale. Whatever you can do to try to keep a single point so that you can withdraw from your senses, withdraw from your emotions, and just settle in here with your being, your true self. And deep in your breathing. Bring awareness back to your body. Roll over onto your right side. We roll onto our right side because this is the calming nadis, the channels. Go ahead and press yourself up to a seated posture. Let's give our neck a little attention. Why don't we just drop our chin and roll our ear over our shoulder. Then back to center. Roll over to the opposite shoulder. Back to center. Let's just do one detoxifying twist. So inhale to lengthen, crown to sky. On the exhale, reach your left arm around behind you, your other arm across your body, and then twist from your lower back, your middle back, your upper back, your shoulders, your neck, your eyes. Come back to center. And let's reach our left hand across, our right hand behind. Lengthen on the inhale, and then exhale, low back, middle back, upper back, shoulders, neck, eyes. Come back to center. So I'm going to invite you to practice one of the niyamas of self-study and maybe choose one of the rungs of the ladder or some part of yoga that you maybe aren't as familiar with or that interests you. There are books, there are things on YouTube. You can just Google search, whatever you find interesting and try to study up on some of the deeper aspects of yoga. It is a lifelong practice. I know such a small amount, but I do have a practice of study so I can learn more. Let's go ahead and bring our hands together in Anjali Mudra. Let's bring our thumbs to our brow and then to our heart, connecting our mind and our heart. The divine light in me recognizes and honors the same divine light in all of you. Wishing us well on our yoga journey. Namaste.